the happening. Because Shiva is going to speak the greatest happening on the planet Earth. Greatest happening on the planet Earth is an unenlightened being sitting with an enlightened being and becoming enlightened. Understand? Nothing more than enlightenment. There can be nothing more than enlightenment experience on the planet Earth. If you go to the South Indian villages, you will see huge temples installed by enlightened masters. But there won't be palaces which is constructed by the same kings, by the same architects which they constructed for themselves. Understand? Same architect, same king builds temple for enlightened energy and builds palace for him to stay. Same intelligence, naturally king would have used better material for his house, for his home. But temples are still standing, palaces, not a single palace could be seen. In my own village, the village in which I am born and brought up, we have a temple which is 25-acre built up area. King who built, his palace is not there. His palace, we have only ruins. We don't have his palace. But the temple built by him is still alive because the enlightened master's energy is there. There is something beyond our logical understanding, beyond our logical clarity, which we call the universe or the cosmic energy. You can call it as a universal energy or cosmic energy, whatever name you may use. The greatest happening on the planet Earth is a disciple sitting at the feet of an enlightened being and becoming enlightened. We call in Sanskrit Upanishad, means just sitting, nothing else. Just simple sitting at the feet of an enlightened being. So much can happen inside you. Today Shiva is going to speak on the great happening. The Shiva Sutras today is on Guru-disciple relationship. Let me enter into the sutra by remembering Mahadeva, Namah Shivaya. Listen, while ultimate mystical teaching is imparted, I still, without blinking, at once become absolutely free. Actually, I feel if I comment on these great words, I may spoil the beauty. Sometimes I feel these words should not be commented at all. It should be just digested. But the problem is, we are in totally different logic level. These words cannot directly work on us. That's the reason I need to translate Shiva's words to our understanding. Actually, the language in which Shiva speaks, not just the language, even the plane from which he speaks is totally different. See, I am giving the translation in English only. Why I have to add more words? Because he is speaking from different plane. You are listening from different plane. So it becomes my responsibility to connect. He says, listen, while the ultimate mystical teaching is imparted, I still, without blinking, at once become absolutely free. The Original Sanskrit sutra says, Diksha Moksha, over. Just initiation liberates. Understand? There is a beautiful story in a Upanishad called Svetaswara Upanishad. In India, we have 108 Upanishads, which are essence of the enlightenment science. Understand? Millions of inner world scientists have done great research in the field of inner science, just like in the West, outer science research was done by millions of scientists. They did research and development. Same way, in India, millions of rishis have done research on the inner science for thousands of years. At least 10,000 years this research and development went on. At least few million inner scientists have dedicated their life for this research and development, and we have at least 10 million inner science laboratories. Means temples and ashrams where congregation happens every day. Understand? 10,000 years of research and development, millions of enlightened inner scientists, at least 10 million inner science laboratories. The essence of this whole research and development is Upanishads. In that 108 Upanishads, there is one Upanishad which is called Svetaswara Upanishad. In that there is a beautiful story. Disciple goes to a master. Story says, master tells him, take these cows. He gives 2 cows to him and tells him, go and live in the forest till it becomes 1,000 cows. It's a real funny thing. See, the disciple is going to master asking, please teach me enlightenment. And master is telling, all right, take this cow, go to the forest and stay there till that becomes 1,000 cows, come back. What this has to do with enlightenment? Of course, fortunately he was not logically educated. Fortunately, he did not receive the so-called education. Fortunately, the disciple was simple and innocent and humble enough, is ready for the transformation. He was tired of being logical. Understand? Unless you are tired of living with an ordinary logic, mere logic which cannot help you to see even your own life, which cannot help you to look even into your own mind. People come and tell me, Swamiji, why you are so against logic? I tell them, I am not against, I am just telling you, all your suffering is just because of your simple logic without intelligence. See, your logic creates so much of politics inside you. Morning and evening, morning your mind is saying one thing and evening your mind is saying another thing. People ask me, Swamiji, in all spiritual organizations so much of politics is there, what to do? I tell them, to do politics you don't need even 2 people. 1 person is more than enough. Real. 1 single person with logic is enough. Because morning your logic will be saying something and evening it will be saying something else. Morning it will be saying something and evening it will be saying something else. So naturally the fight between you and you is politics. See, your decisions which you do in the morning and your decisions which you do in the evening, if you put both of them in front of you, you will see you are a politician sitting inside you. You don't need politics from outside. Logic, which does not allow you to trust or open up which does not allow transformation happening in you, is the first enemy. Here, the disciple was somehow, fortunately, was not bitten by that logic. We call that as a poisonous snake. Understand? Another one great master, her name is Sharada Devi. She lived in 19th century in India. She has such a amazing personality. Whoever comes, even if they come in midnight, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, she will get up, cook and feed them, only then she will sleep. All our kitchens, in all our ashrams, we will have our photograph. I run all our kitchens in her memory. All our kitchens, whoever comes, we share whatever we have in memory of her dedication, her devotion to this great Vedic tradition. Somebody asked her, Ma, don't you feel that you are being exploited because you are trusting anybody and everybody? You are just taking care of anybody and everybody, feeding anybody and everybody. She says beautifully, even if you are exploited, if you live trusting, if you live with open being, you will live like a god on the planet Earth.